We are live. Welcome to the Brown Spade. So before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Cleve. He out there doing his thing. He on his purpose. Hey man, I salute you. Keep doing your thing. I'm supporting you. I got you. And let me say I apologize for this wrinkled shirt, but I will refuse to iron. I refuse to iron today. I just popped it out the bag, and that was it. But anyway, today we have a special guest, Miss Key, Miss Velvet Key, and she wanted to give her perspective on a video that I did the other day. But before we get started,
Yes.
okay, we are back. We are back. So, as I was saying, Miss Key, she hit me up. Hey, I got something to say about that video. I was like, which one? Which one? Because I was doing like one a day, and I went to check on it. That is it. Why men aren't quick to marry in the United States? I think that was it. We have a little delay, so y'all just bear with us.
Yes, that video. Yes, that
Yeah,
one.
and that was pertaining to a guy. He appears to be coming from the courthouse, and he was very upset, highly upset about. He felt like that the court was very one sided, very unjust. He said they took everything from him, and and she the one who stepped out on him and cheated on him, according to him. And they didn't want to hear any of that. They still go ahead and tax them, so to speak. So today's topic is called her side. So, so
Yes.
Ms. Key, let's hear your side.
Well, first of all, I'm always kind of, you know, wary about listening to one-sided stories. Um, Now I'm not saying that sometimes women don't do those things and don't, end up getting all this money or don't use men for that matter. It's just that he was very disgruntled, and he's like, "Oh, stay out the courts. She took everything. I got to pay $800 a month in child support."
Right.
Okay, the courts. He appeared to be from someplace up north by his accent. I don't know if he still lives up north
Yeah, he
or
was in
what, but
it was in Philadelphia, to be exact.
oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I said it was in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Okay, so I live in Georgia. And here they look at the entire picture. They look at the mother's income. They look at the husband's income, the wife's income, the number of children, the age of the children, the expense of. They look at everything equally.
Okay. So
My
hold on before we go any
experience
further.
was not
Hold on before we go any further though. So I'm from Atlanta as well. We both from Atlanta, right?
right.
Okay. But we know that law wasn't always like that. That law wasn't always on the books. Is that fair to say?
You said we know that what?
That particular law, what you're talking about when they look at both incomes, was
Hmm.
not always there on the
It was
books.
not. No, it
It,
was
that is a
always in the
relatively
books.
young law.
I would say that came maybe within the past 10, 15 years.
10, 10, 15 years. That's about right.
And he looks like this. He was very current. Like he didn't look that video didn't look 10 years old.
No, he was out of Philadelphia though. He's not in Georgia.
So right, and we're in the Bible Belt. So actually, up north, a lot of the laws are more lenient when it comes to divorce. So, but there again, when you're getting a part of a story, she walked out on me. She cheated on me. What happened before that? He does not mention, and we don't know. It could
That's
just
true.
be so as
That's
simple
true.
as she cheated and walked out. Maybe, but typically when women cheat, it's because women are more so emotional cheaters because
I
they're
can
not
agree.
getting something emotionally.
I
It
can
don't
agree.
justify it
Right.
any more than it justifies than men are justified with physically cheating. It doesn't justify it either way. It's just that sometimes we have to just be accountable for the person we chose.
Yeah, but
A lot of times you
sometimes
knew these women.
but sometimes people can hide who they really are.
That is correct. I agree. And that, but there again, that can go either way.
Yeah.
That can go either way. Because she could be like, I married this man because he was a provider, because he loved to bring up, I did all this, I took care of her, and she took everything. Well,
Right.
what if she needed something more than your money or more than provision?
Mm.
Or you picked a woman and you provided everything. You said, oh, you don't have to work. You can stay home. You will pay for that if you get a divorce.
That is true. That
You're
is
going to
true.
pay for that because you have to provide that lifestyle. So sometimes we just have to be accountable for our own actions and our own decisions and choices.
Right.
There again, we don't know the whole story.
That is true.
And then if you had babies with this person, you have to pay. It's that simple. You got to pay.
I'm not disputing the pay part. That's not what I'm saying.
I know women on child support though. I know women who are on child support.
Well, come on, but let's be clear though. Let's be clear. It's more men on child support than women, right? Come on, let's be clear about that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do we really know? Maybe.
Oh, come on.
Because I know a lot of single fathers. Actually, I know.
Yes, but there are more.
I'm
So
just
you're
saying,
telling me
my
there are
single
more
father to
single
single
fathers than
mother
single mothers?
ratio is about 50-50.
So you're telling me there
I'm
are
not
more
saying
single.
from my. No, I'm saying from what I know, it's about 50-50. I know just as many single fathers as I do single mothers.
Okay, so I'm asking you. Okay, I'm not talking about the people that you know, but just a general statement. Let's just say in the United States, you think it's still 50-50?
Probably not. Probably not. It's probably more single mothers for sure.
Okay. And as far as divorce goes,
Yeah, it's probably more single mothers.
70-80% of divorces are filed by women, statistically.
Statistically, yes.
Yeah. And so the guy, and that was another. I didn't play the second video. It was like a part two. I guess so many people chimed in on him, and he was like, he didn't want to sound like he was mad. This is
Right.
but that I understood where he was coming from. I understood where he was coming from because I remember when I got my divorce. I remember when I got my divorce from my first marriage, and my ex-wife, she didn't even show up at the courtroom, but I filed for divorce. But when I went into the back, what's the big what is the little guy with the badge? What he's called, the bailiff or whatever? The guy be with the judge? Is he the
bailiff? Yeah.
Yeah, the bailiff.
The bailiff.
I walked into the room and she's looking at the paper and she was like, "Are you sure you want a divorce?" No, when I first sat down, the bailiff talking about, "What did you do?" I'm like, I was looking at him like, man, I don't owe you any explanation. That's one. Two, I don't want to file for divorce. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But it's like the thing is they always try to make it seem as though men are
sometimes the person that did the wrong does file for the divorce. It's not uncommon.
Well, not in this case.
Right.
No, not in this case. No, but no, I filed for divorce. And what I'm saying is the guy pretty much had me as, I was the bad guy, and he don't even know me. Instead of just first of all, I didn't owe him any explanation at all. He don't have to sign this paper. It's up to the judge to sign this paper. So he had really no say so. So he should have just stayed out of my business. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. I agree with that. But you also know I don't agree with putting Black men in the court system. I just don't. So even with my first divorce, We did everything out of court because I just don't agree with it. Even with the child support, they said, do you want us to garnish his pay? No, I just want him to send it. I don't like them in our business. But there again, you have to know the type of person that you're dealing with, the man or the woman.
I will say that both adults
I know a man right now. I know a man right now that's filing for divorce. His wife is trying to take half of everything. They were only married 3 years. She works, they have no children, and she wants him to like sell his house. And why?
And see, that's the venomous that a lot of bitter people are. That's the way they become bitter for whatever reason, good or bad or indifference. They become so bitter that they want blood. They trying to squeeze blood out of a freaking cabbage. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you just said, they've been married for 3 years. They have no children. Instead of her just gracefully walking away, okay, you got the right to be upset. For whatever reason, that's human nature. You're going to be upset. But why do you want this other human being to suffer? That's why I have the problem with when it comes to two consensual adults who agree to be together. And then when one decide they don't want to be with you, even though you might not want to let go, you need to be adult enough to let it go. Period.
And the thing is, sometimes the other person don't want to be with them either. They just mad because they broke it off first. Like a lot of times, even with women, she's just mad because he broke it off first, or he's just mad that she broke it off first. Y'all knew y'all weren't gonna stay together anyway.
Right.
I don't get it.
Right.
But there again, like you said, people hide who they are. But for me, I am a proponent of we must start getting to know people before we start just, selling. You need to know people through all the seasons.
That is true. But
instead of looking at these superficial. Yeah, and we're so superficial now. Men are looking at bodies and women are looking at pockets. And then when you get into it, it's not what you thought it was going to be. And now you're angry and you want to take everything.
Well, there's no solid foundation. If you just go on a person just solely on looks, you're going to lose that battle. If you go solely on their financial status, you're going to lose that battle, male or female.
Or female.
If it's based on those shallow things, then you're already on cracked cement. You don't have solid ground. You don't have a solid foundation. Period.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
And then when you start to bring children into the situation, you complicate everything. But I don't agree with him that the courts are so like super lopsided. A lot of times what I've seen in the present is that the judge is going to look at both sides and they're going to put the child with what's considered the best parent. Because he may have made a lot of money, but the mother says, hey, he makes a lot of money because he works 16 hours a day. He's never home.
Well, again, I will say,
he can't raise these children.
I hear you clearly, but I will say this is based on a state by state basis as far as the law concerned, because the law changes.
State basis, exactly.
Right. We're getting some rain over here. Sorry about that. I had to close the window. Yeah, but and that's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is. Because I'm going to be.
And so you need to know the laws in your state when you decide to get married. Know the laws in your state.
But again, in most cases, not saying all, in most cases, guys get burned when it comes to the court system.
And so that's a risk you take. That's the risk you take when you get married. It's a part of it.
And that was the reason why I put the title. This is why men aren't quick to marry in the United States in modern time. because of these one-sided laws. Like some of these laws in certain states, again, like I stated before, there's just very old, antiquated laws. These laws was on the books. These laws was on the books when once upon a time women couldn't work. you know, and the guy did all the working, and she's solely dependent upon that man. And so
Right.
those laws still, some of those laws in some of these states still exist.
It's still the same. So
And
so
so,
there again, you need to know that before you get into it. And you need to understand that, because here, I know of a case personally. This is just another example. It's probably gonna blow your mind, where this guy was not even married to this woman, but he was taking care of her. He had apartment, bought her an apartment, a car, all that stuff, bought her all those things, and she could prove that he was taking care of her. Well,
right.
when his wife found out, he tried to cut it off. He had to pay that girl, quote unquote, spousal support. She
And
sued him.
let me ask you, which do you know what state that was in? I'm sorry, could you repeat the state that was in?
That was in Florida. She sued him in Florida.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And she won.
Yeah. And that's one of them things that makes no freaking sense. It makes no sense at all. You know,
but he had a whole family. Like, he had a whole separate family with children, and you taking care of this other woman. Like, your wife.
So the lady, so he had children by this woman, this other woman?
No, she was a side piece. She was a mistress.
Okay.
Yes.
She's a side piece, and now he's paying not child support, but actually like spousal support. That's crazy.
She pretty much called it like spousal, some spin on spousal support. You were taking care of me when your wife or baby mama, whatever, found out you tried to stop taking care of me, and you promised me all these things and you didn't do it, and now I'm gonna sue you.
Right.
They settled out of court.
That is insane. I know it was another article. Not this one happened not too long ago, where I guess they were doing online dating or whatever. But anyway, the guy took the girl out, and I think after that one date, he was no longer interested in her, and she sued him. I mean, she sued him for $10,000 or something because of
wasting her time.
Yeah, something crazy like that. I mean, went through the whole process, and the thing about it is, the only reason why I got kicked out, well, I don't know what the outcome was. It got kicked out because she filled out the wrong paperwork. But just the whole thought of her going through this whole process on a freaking date, you don't even know this man. You only went on one date. 9 times out of 10, he probably paid for it, and he just didn't want to deal with you anymore. And she was trying to push the paperwork through the legal system to get at this man. See, to me, I saw
that, and I was like, it's
being very vindictive.
But there again, when you don't know who you're dealing with,
but you don't. That's the first date.
But we jump into these things with these strangers.
But if you just went on,
I remember that. Like, they only went on one date.
Yeah, they only went on one date. So how can I know who I'm dealing with? How can I know what I'm dealing with? You don't know.
That's why she is single. She's crazy.
And that's my point. And that's I just feel like that's why a lot of them are single more than ever before, because of the way they're thinking right now. They're not really processing how life really works, how relationship really supposed to be, in my humble opinion.
But well, look at, like, even with Mary J. Blige. Yeah, her husband cheating on her with her assistant with her money. Allegedly. And she still had to pay like a year or 6 months of spousal support because he was her manager.
But now, hold on now. But you said you need to know the law.
You better know the law. And hey, and so basically, I don't back down to it when it comes to women.
He used the law in his favor. I'm not justifying it. I mean, I think
he really did.
I think it's heartless. I think it's heartless for anybody to try to take something that somebody worked hard for, and you try to take it. I just think that's just heartless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just think it's crazy. I think that, like, even in
it's a lack of morals and
yeah, right. But even in the world of entertainment, I just think a lot of these women are very, again, unrealistic. If I'm dealing with a superstar athlete, I'm talking about a female. If a female deal with a superstar athlete, right? Why do she feel now? This young man is
Mhm.
18, 19, 20 years old. He just became a millionaire overnight.
Right.
He got ladies throwing panties at him in every city that he travel in.
Everywhere.
Don't even know him on his first name. Just know he wear freaking uniform. Just know he wear a team uniform.
Mhm.
And you thinking he's supposed to be devoted to you. I mean, to me, you setting yourself up for failure. I'm talking about the female now. She's setting herself up
You
for
really
failure.
do. And I know, I remember when I was younger, I always used to say I would never want to date a celebrity. I would never want to marry a celebrity. It's just too much. It's too much.
Right.
And even with these quote unquote normal men, it's just too much. It's a lot.
Right.
But we got to do better about taking time to learn people. And we have to be accountable. A lot of times we get in these situations and we know. We just
Right.
ignore all the red flags and we just love them. Oh, I just love them so much. I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Right.
And you get what you get.
Right. I mean, you dealing again. It just makes no sense to me at all. And then you get mad because
You get what you get.
it's
I
20
would
years
just love to hear the whole story with this man.
with the guy in Philadelphia.
Yes, like how many kids are you paying $800 for? Because if she has 4 or 5 kids and you paying $800, that's not a lot of money.
It depends on where he had in PA. It may or that may be based off his income.
Right.
But according to him, like I said, that there was a second video. I just didn't show it. But according to him, he was like, he don't mind paying for his children. He said that's not a problem.
Right.
You know, but
I didn't hear him saying he had to pay spousal support. Did he say that?
No, he didn't mention that. The thing, I think the thing was, I don't know. I think again, I wasn't there.
She probably like got
I'm
the
just,
house, like
I do
had.
hear his pain. I think again, he it's obviously that he felt that he didn't get no kind of W's out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He got the short end of the stick.
I mean, the super short end of the stick. I think there was he got
Well,
no
if you the
win.
man, be the man.
He got 0
men
point.
love to say how they provide and how they do this and do that.
No, I mean, like I said, yeah, I mean, I understood where the guy was coming from, though. You know, you can go to court and it can get real ugly in there because you know, only thing you could do is just you don't know what mindset these judges
you can't
are.
do anything.
Yeah, you at the mercy of somebody who don't even know you. You know, that is the crazy part. You at the mercy of somebody that don't know you or your situation. They just making a judgment because of how they feel.
Well, if they making a judgment based on the law, it's like
Sometimes
it's based on the law.
Sometimes judges don't go off the law. They go on how they feel. Sometimes it depends on how they come in. Sometimes they come in and they get, because again, they're still human just like anybody else. And sometimes they forget, they know the law, but sometimes they start putting their emotions into the situation, because sometimes you could be in court and sometimes you could be in court and a situation can remind them of something that happened to them. Are you there, Key?
I'm here. You just delayed. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's raining out here. Sorry. Yeah, but it's crazy.
Dominican Republic problems.
Yeah, I have a Dominican Republic problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, like I said, with the one-sided thing, he was obviously angry. He's obviously stay out the courts. But I don't see why that should deter people from getting married. Like, you had a bad experience.
Yes, but everybody, here's the thing, and I agree with you to a certain degree. Because I mean, for me, I knew when I got my divorce from my first when I got divorced, I knew that I still wanted to be married. I still had the idea that, you know,
Right.
I was husband material. I just that's how I believe that. You know, I
Right.
knew I
You just
knew
chose better. You made a
yeah,
better
I definitely
choice.
yeah, I was much older. You know, when I was got married the first time, I was much
Exactly.
younger. So of course you're gonna look at, you know, you're looking at things from a whole
Right.
different perspective. You're not blind on you know, those shallow things like I was. You know, and again, I don't have any regrets. Let me say that. I learned a lot in that
It just
relationship.
didn't work out. It just
It
didn't work
just didn't
out.
work out. And I was man enough to walk away from it. And that's what I can honestly say. I was man enough to walk away from it because, you know, sometimes we be in relationships and don't nobody want to pull the plug, you know. But
Exactly. And both people know
and
the
both
plug
people
needs to be
know
pulled.
that it ain't, but both people know it need to be pulled, but don't nobody want to pull it. So I pulled the plug.
Mm,
Yeah. So, you know, and I think that was one of the best decisions I made. I did, you know, I asked myself a question. I looked myself in the mirror. Did I make the right decision? I told myself yes. And I mean, life from that point, I'm not, and
I
I'm
feel
not
the same way
trying
about my first one. I'm like, yep,
to,
good
yeah,
decision.
and I'm not trying to belittle my ex, but I mean, life got better. I
Me
mean,
either.
I felt liberated. I felt liberated. You know, just it was like a load off of me, you know. And in the beginning, for years, I was,
Right.
you know, I was, you know, I was didn't want to pull the plug. You know, I had my son there. You know, I didn't want to walk away from my son. I wanted to, you know, I didn't want to be one of those statistic dads that's not in the house and this type of stuff.
Right.
I didn't want to fall up under those stereotypical stuff as
And
black men.
and
As
you
we,
know, and that's the other side of it. You know, when men say, "Oh, I don't want to get married," but you running around with all these different women and you making babies, but it's like, "Well, I don't want to get married though." So stop doing married things. So they want both. Like, I don't want to be married, but I want to do married things because I don't want the
right,
consequences that come
right.
along with marriage
Here's
if
what
it
here's
doesn't
my
work
thing.
out.
Right here's my thing. What I would tell guys. I'm not gonna tell somebody to rush to the altar. I'm not gonna say that,
No,
but
me either.
I'm going to. I will say that in life, it's a part of life. It's inevitable. Things are going to happen some point in your life. Sometimes you may think you got Mr. or Mrs. Right, and they may be Mr. or Mrs. Wrong.
Exactly.
It happens, you know. And I'm a
It
big
happened.
yeah. And I'm telling you, and I'm for staying. You know, if you can stay in there and toughen it out, especially if you got kids, I'm an advocate of that. I would say do it because the kids are worth it. Because at that point, to me, at that point, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than her. It's about the kids,
Mhm.
you know. And so I was fortunate enough to come out of the situation. My son just graduated out of high school. I didn't have to pay child support. So I don't know what child support feel like. I don't know what alimony feel like. You know, I left at a perfect
You
time
didn't
where I
have to
didn't.
pay court ordered child support. That's the difference.
Oh, right. I didn't have to pay any child. I'm right. Court order child support. Right. I mean, while I was there, of course, I was
Right.
doing my duty, providing, you know, to the best of my ability. But I never had to go to a judge and somebody telling me what to do with my check. I've never been in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
that's the thing. Like for a man, when a man says, "Oh, don't get married," or "Oh, like so you don't want to get married, so you want to keep running around
right, dropping
testing
kids off.
women,"
Right, and having kids,
huh?
and dropping
Right.
and in the process
And
of
then you
producing,
say, "Oh, that's
reproducing.
why these women are single. That's why all these single mothers here."
Right, right. And I think that's contradictory. You know, you can't have it both ways. I agree with you on
Right.
that. I
You don't
agree
want
with
to
you
get
on that.
married and you don't want to sit down either.
Right. But that's just life. You know, you there are no guarantees in life. And as much as we try to
At
run
all.
from it, because you got some people just they're so afraid to even get into a relationship. Let alone getting married. They're afraid to get into a relationship because they already know, man, I don't want to get hurt. I mean, but shit happens.
Well, but that's good. If you don't want to, don't, because that's better than getting into a relationship or a marriage
Right, right.
knowing that you already setting it up to fail. And
Right,
then you
but
say, see, that's why I didn't want to do it, because it was gonna fail.
right.
You already set it up that way.
Right, but most people are not getting married saying, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna get a divorce in the next 3 years." You know, they really feel like they're gonna work it out in the beginning. But I think the problem is people are so quick to give up on a relationship. You know, now my thing is this: do everything you possibly can
That you can.
before you give up, and that therefore, when you look in the mirror, you can say, "You know what? I went counseling. We talked several times. I tried to communicate.
We tried.
with
We
you.
really
I did
tried,
that."
and it just
Now, you
didn't
got to
work.
go. If you ain't got no list of things where you tried to repair,
Exactly.
then you really you never really never gave it a true shot. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you as humans, we are evolving in the relationship as well. You know what I'm saying? Like even now with my wife now, like we evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like she still got to learn me because you know I was in and out the country before I became an expat. So now it's like now I'm here. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know, you now I'm full time. You know, you gotta deal with me, and I gotta deal with you, and we
Look at
gotta.
your face every day.
That's right. Yeah, she got to look at my face every day.
It's different. Like, and there's
Yeah,
so many, and you really just have to find the person that's willing to evolve and grow with you. Because, and a lot of times men and women don't do it at the same time. So it's never really going to be even.
right. Facts.
You just got to thug it out.
Facts. I agree. And
But
that's
people get so angry when it doesn't work.
We think when one evolved, the other supposed to elevate at the exact same time. And that's not true either.
Nope. It don't work that way.
Yeah, that's
Well,
not
you
true.
know, the thing, a big problem is we don't live in a reality. We live in this fantasy, these made up, you know, stories of marriage and things like that. And no one really wants to be honest about what it really takes to be married, to have this whole other person in your world, and you're an individual and they're an individual, and y'all trying to put these individual beliefs and habits and all these things together. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Or sometimes you just gotta be understanding. There's so many layers to it.
Right. But I will say that if you are a selfish person,
right, and it's a lot of that.
You don't need to be in a relationship. If it's all about you, you don't need to be in a relationship. If it's all about you, you don't need to be in a relationship. Hands down.
And it's that simple. But a lot of people, the most selfish people, don't even realize that they're selfish.
And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. Yeah.
They don't even realize it. And so they just expect other people to deal with it. And people are not always okay with that.
That is true. That is true. So
hey, that's my little 2 cents. But I would love to hear the other side. Yes.
Oh, I mean, we'll never hear the other side, but we'll definitely come across some more topics that we can you know, share our views on. We definitely could do that. So what are some things did you have some things written down? You know, we had a discussion. Did you write some things down?
Oh, I just already incorporated it into the mix. See, like I did that.
Okay. So let me ask you. So let me ask you this question here. Do you think that okay, let me start. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Do you think what do you think that'll help the Black community for having so many single moms?
Well, one, I think that there has to be a mutual respect for one another. But if we don't have that, it's just going to keep being what it's been. People have to be accountable. We have to be more accountable. We have to be more responsible. You know, we have experienced a lot of trauma mentally, physically. We've experienced a lot of trauma, and a lot of that stuff is so ingrained in us that we just really have to get to the root of why we're always back and forth. We're always at each other's neck. For me, I love Black men. So women be like, well, they do this. I don't care. I love Black men. You can't get me to go any other way. I'm gonna be hard pressed to even look twice at a light-skinned black man. Like,
Mm,
so but that's how I am. That's just me. But
right.
you can't make me hate a black man. You can't make me dislike a black man. You just can't. For me, you just can't do that.
And there
But a
seems like
lot of
there's a
us
lot of
hate
it going on
ourselves.
right now, though. There seems like there's a lot of,
It
and it's
is.
I see both sides, but I really, really see some sisters out here that are really, really like super mad, super upset. And I'm like,
Because they've
well,
been hurt.
yeah, but you can't blame the world because you made a bad decision. See, you see, the thing of it is, here's how I look at it. And correct me if I'm wrong, or if you disagree, tell me you disagree. I feel like woman
I
got the last
will.
say. I feel like woman got the last say so. If I come to
You
a
do.
woman and make my advance on a woman, she got the right to say yes or no right there, right? So if she accepted
Correct.
this guy,
In most cases, yes.
if she accepted this guy to lay down with him and procreate with him with the Pookie and Ray Rays, then that's kind of her fault. Because you can't stop a man from being
So
what he
at what
naturally
point?
is.
Well, here's the thing, and that's the issue right there. The
Okay,
whole
let's
a
go.
man is a man.
Let's go.
A man just gonna
I
be a
mean, the
man.
nature, the
So
nature, the
why
nature.
why
Hold
can't
on,
we
let me say
get
this.
more?
The nature of a man. Now go ahead.
I get that. I get the nature of a man. I get that. Because even for me, I feel like monogamy is a choice. I don't feel like it's natural. I feel like it's a choice.
That was my next question, and you already beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you about monogamy. Did you think it
Yeah.
was natural?
I don't feel like monogamy. I don't think it's natural at all.
No,
Not
it's
even
not
a
natural.
little bit. I think it's a
No, it's
choice.
not.
However, what I also feel is that if you agree or if you say and give your word to a person that you are gonna be monogamous, you keep your word. If you don't feel like you can be with just one woman, don't say you can.
Okay, so let's say if you got guys, so let's say see in my this is how I think now. I really feel like that's what's ruining us because we really think one person is designed for us. And I think that if you trace us back from before we was brought over to the Western world,
Exactly.
we were not monogamous.
Colonized before we were westernized.
Right. We were
We were
practicing
not monogamous.
polygamy. And again, it's hard for sisters to have this concept in the United States because they've been trained that monogamous is the way. But it's something ain't right about it because there's so many divorces. Evidently ain't something right because a lot of you have different baby fathers. So it can't be too normal. Oh, you there? You faded on me. Are
No,
you there?
I'm here.
My bad. Okay. So evidently, I mean, the evidence is there that it's not a normal idea.
Right.
But
I don't have to be sold on it. I already know.
we have adapted and adopted this European concept, I think that's why we fail at relationship. I think polygamy need to be practiced.
I agree.
But
I'm not opposed to it.
But the
correct way. Here's the thing, and a lot of people
responsibility and
try
accountability
to equate it with physical or sex. That's not it.
Facts.
It's about building legacy. It's about wealth, obtaining wealth. It's about those things. And people, and that's the thing, we've been sold this fantasy of marriage and relationships, and it's all about love. No, love alone does not keep a relationship. Love alone does not keep a marriage. And that's where we're messing it up.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with the way we used to do it, and because the man could take care of everyone. You could not marry any more than you could take care of.
Right.
But these men want to have multiple children. You have 6 kids and you're not even taking care of any of them, but you talking about you want to be polygamous. Cut it out. That's not how this works.
I agree. You got to have your stuff in order. You got to be accountable, and you got to, you got to be accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And you just can't do it out of lust. That's another thing.
But mentally, most men aren't ready for that either. Like even in nature, if it's not normal to be monogamous, mentally these new men are not ready for that type. They can't even. A lot of these men still living
I
with their mamas and
agree.
stuff. Cut it out.
I agree. I agree. But I'm saying if we can turn this thing around, because again, if we're gonna be Black Americans in the United States of America, and we talking about building wealth, single parent mother 9 times out of 10 is not going to build wealth. Single father 9 times out of 10 not going to build wealth. Most wealth is built through a family.
With the family, through family,
Period.
the family unit.
Now,
Yes.
here's what people don't understand. Here's the kicker right here. If let's just say I'm talking about somebody who is mentally prepared and who have their financials in order, and he had these. Let's just say he had these 2 women. He been honest with them since day one, and they're everybody is in on the concept of that. Can you imagine what kind of revenue they're bringing in? Can you imagine what kind of legacy they're
yes. Yes,
can you
I
imagine?
can.
Everybody is gonna those kids, however many they got, that everybody's gonna be taking. Because now you got 3 incomes.
Putting into the pot. The kids
we're not looking at. We're so selfish because we've been so indoctrinated that hell no, that's my that's my stick or whatever or whatever the stuff.
Well, here's the thing. When I hear women saying, I just can't, I ain't gonna share my man. You sharing them anyway.
And that's what I was. That's what I was
getting nothing out of it.
That's what I was getting at. They're sharing anyway, directly or indirectly.
Laundry. Bring over here so she can vacuum this floor.
Yeah.
It's her turn tonight.
Watch the kids or whatever. There you go. But I'm saying, again, we have to, as men, we have to be responsible. It's not done out of lust. But I'm telling you, if we did that, we could change the demographic overnight. We can change the demographics overnight if we just change our whole mindset. And again, it's not. I'm specifying on this. It is not done off lust. It is not. Because I'm telling you right now, initially, like I told you the other day,
back in Africa. Back in Africa, when they arranged marriages, it was done for status and wealth building, and it wasn't. You didn't have to love the person,
right? It was about commitment, though.
And so people, they get caught up in these emotions. Yeah, and standards, like they were held to certain moral standards. You got to take care of can you afford my daughter? Can you provide for my daughter better than I can?
But your family name meant everything.
It meant everything. These days, it means nothing.
Don't nobody give a damn. Don't nobody care about the name. They don't think about I'm going to embarrass my mother, my father. They're not thinking about any of that. I mean, there's no shame.
Not in our culture, but go to the Asian cultures. Go to these other cultures. They care about their family name. Even a lot of cultures in Africa. When I travel to Africa, they care about how their family name is represented. It's over here in America where we've let these people get all in our heads about who we are. And it's just messing us up. Messing us up real bad. And our children are messed up. And the thing is, it's when a woman, if she's sleeping with a Pookie or a Ray Ray, at what point do we start holding Pookie and Ray Ray accountable?
No, we have to.
But do the men in the community tell the other men?
Hold on, you faded on me. Could you repeat that again, please?
I said, when are the men going to start holding the Pookie and the Ray Rays accountable? When does that happen? Because they learn the behavior from a man most of the time.
But let me say this though. Let me say this. I will honestly say, and I'm not saying this because I'm a man. I can say that. Well, I can't speak about these young boys. Can't speak about them. They're a different breed. Because it's like we done took 2 steps backwards. But I'm saying in my era, I feel like the guys my age in the 40s, I'm 49. We're better fathers than our fathers were. In a lot of cases. Because again, I think the black man has got a bad rap by not being a father. But there was also an article that most the black man out of all the other races is in his children's life. Well, in recent time, I just read it was an article not too long ago I came across, and we were they put us at number one as being in our child's life. Now that doesn't mean he was married or whatever, but he was involved in his child's life. I think we're better fathers than those fathers in the 70s, in the 80s. I think we're better fathers. And I think the problem came along. Of course, you had drugs, you had the welfare system that pushed the man away from the family. So if she couldn't receive any benefits, so she automatically put him out. The lack of opportunity where he couldn't be responsible enough to provide for the family. So that made him almost a hobo. So he was floating around having kids from back to back. Again, not making any excuse, but those are the realities. Those are some of the things that I saw growing up. And I'm fortunate. Like I said, I lost my dad at 6, but my dad was in my life. My dad was a very responsible person when it came to taking care of his kids. Now he floated around too, but he was responsible as far as taking care of his children. He was there. He made sure that we knew each other.
And when you say take care of, what does that consist of?
Spending time and money. Yeah, spending time and I'm 49. My dad passed when I was 6. I can remember going fishing. I can remember, him introducing me to a shotgun. I can remember doing stuff. We going and taking me to see my other brother that lives in Alabama. His first son, my father's first son in Alabama. So I remember him bringing me around, and taking me with him. I'm almost like his friend. He's talking to me like I'm his like I'm an adult, like I'm his best friend, and I'm 5 to 6 years old. It's crazy. Yeah.
You might have been his best friend.
Probably so. Yeah, probably so.
We just have to get back to being responsible and accountable.
Yeah, we have to. But again, if we think that, but let me say this too before I forget. I think one of the biggest problems with relationship in the Black community right now is this feminist movement. I don't need a man. This has been so propagated so heavily.
I haven't heard a woman say that in so long. I have not. I hear women my age.
So what they saying now? I don't know because I'm not even in the country.
I hear them saying, I don't want to be a. Yeah, this is what I hear them saying. They're saying like, I'm tired of being a strong Black woman. I'm tired of like, I don't want to be that. Don't call me that.
That's
don't
good.
Treat that. I hear more now. Women are saying, I want to be soft. I want to be the soft woman. I just want to be a woman.
That's good.
I'm tired of fighting out. They're tired. The women my age, they're like, I don't want to do that. I never wanted to do it. I was just forced into it.
That is good.
And so it's not so much now, because here's the thing. We don't need men for money anymore. We want companionship.
Right.
So, an older, more established woman, she's not out here gold digging. She's not out here.
You froze up on me. Hold on, you froze up on me. Come on back, Key. I don't know. Okay, Key, you there?
Uh-oh.
Key.
Oh, I'm here. Am I back?
Okay. Yeah, you're back. Okay, now. Go ahead. You were saying yes. You was...
That time that was mine because I saw it.
Okay, so that's not me. Okay, that's not me.
Not
cool,
that
cool,
time.
Cool.
Not that time. But
yeah, so
women, but now these men want these young women. They want these 20-something-year-old BBL, whatever. And the older women are just like, okay, I'll just be single. Most of us already have children. We don't need you to make a baby. We don't need that. We just want to travel, have good sex, go do whatever we want to do in life. But they want to run around with these little young girls.
Well, let me say. They
get mad when they get used up.
Well, yeah, that's true. But naturally, men are attracted to, from the physical first. And I mean,
Why you want a child? Like I see a lot of these men.
I didn't say
women,
no. I didn't say child. You said child.
no, well, when I say child, I mean if you 53 and your girlfriend 20. Now y'all both legal and consenting, and women do it too these days. Because I know some women, 50-year-old women, is dating 28-year-old men. It is what it is.
But I will say this: I think that's double standards too. I think when from my experience, when I've seen women do it, I hear "Go ahead, girl," and then when a black man, oh, he's sugar daddy, blah blah blah. That's all I'm saying.
I feel it's the same either way. I don't split hairs.
Okay.
If I see a 50-year-old woman with a 20-something-year-old man, I'm like, I'm looking at her the same way that I look at the man. Because at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? What you trying to do?
That's true. I mean, if I was a single man, I was a single man. Don't get me wrong. I go. I mean, as long as they're consensual adults, but I wouldn't try to be like super serious if they were like 20 years old. No. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, if I was single, I ride that Honda. I will. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I will. That's
well. Here's the thing. Like, for me, it just shows the state that we're in. It's so many things against us being in stable families, building wealth. Everybody just out to have fun.
But let me say this but I gotta go back on this now because you're a well-traveled woman. I am. Yes, you are. And so the thing is, outside of the US, that that age, that example you gave is the norm in other countries. People have younger wives in other countries. It's not a problem.
A lot of reasons is because the younger women can have babies. They're trying to build wealth and build their family.
Right. And so
they want children. They want multiple children. And see, that's where women for me, if I've been out with men and I'm 44. I've been out with men 40, 35, 37.
Right.
No kids. Let me tell you something, sir. I'm not having anymore. You can go get you a young girl to have you a baby. We can help raise the baby together. We can do however you want to do that. If I decided to be with a man like that, but I'm not having a baby.
I mean, when I got with my wife, I knew. Well, when I got a divorce, I knew I wanted me another child. Mm-hmm. I knew that, and so I knew that if I deal with somebody my age, chances are it's not going to
happen.
So I knew that. You know what I'm saying? And me coming outside of the United States, it's not frowned upon. So I don't want nobody to feel like, you're doing something bad or illegal. You're not.
You're not. Again, it's just real. It's just reality. Men can make babies on their dying bed.
In our society, in the Western world, it's frowned upon. But if you come outside of the Western world, you can go to the Arab nation.
I know.
African nation. You can go to the South America. Man, it's the norm. Like you say, if you're looking for trying to have children and you trying to, build your wealth, you just can't. Because a woman has a biological clock. Period.
And that's it. A man can be 80, 90 years old, still making babies.
Yeah, still pop them out. Now, I will say I did wanted another one, but now I don't. I will say that. Put me on the record for that. So if I have another one, y'all know I got lazy. I didn't pull out in time.
Now what I said, I only date vasectomy men. If you don't have vasectomy, don't talk to me.
No, ain't no chopping on me. I'm all natural.
Why is it okay for us? Like that's the other thing. It's way more damage.
No, I wouldn't even tell my wife to go get
hysterectomy and things like that.
I wouldn't tell my wife to go get on birth controls or get a what's that thing they get
I don't do nothing. I've never been on
burn tie it, get your tubes tied and all this stuff.
And burned and
no. I wouldn't tell my wife do none of that crap. No, I'm not. But there again, like you said, I mean, as an older woman, I understand that if a man come to me and he doesn't have children, he want to have children, sir, I'm not the one. Okay, so what if he wants you?
We can get a sister wife. You can get a sister wife. We can go get one of them little.
That's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm about to say. He gonna get you, but he got to go. He's gonna go ahead and get him one of them little young Hondas I was telling you about, and she gonna help help
I need to be
reproduce.
able to pick her so we can make sure it's somebody who got some sense because we're gonna do a
Ain't
psychological.
nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, but you'll be in for it, right? You cool with that?
Yeah, I just had a conversation with a friend. She's in that
I mean, you
situation.
still the first lady now. You still the first lady, and
Right.
everything. You could go pick her, but again, he got to have some type of attraction for her now. So don't be trying to pick no.
No, I don't want that ugly in my. Don't. We're not doing that either.
Again,
Like,
it's part of your family too.
hey, listen, I'm a whole different type of woman.
I know you are. I know you
A
are.
whole
I'm
different
telling you,
type. Like these
I-
women,
I-
I don't understand how that girl relax.
yeah. Because
It's
people so
really not that serious.
people so small minded, it's really not that serious. Just like we said earlier on this show, you're sharing anyway.
You doing it anyway.
You're sharing anyway.
You doing it anyway.
In most cases, you're sharing anyway.
And that's the thing. It's the secretiveness that is what destroys the relationship. Like people have to be honest.
Y'all getting these divorces because you're being secretive.
Because you're being secretive. Just be honest.
Be honest. But again, no, but we have to reprogram ourselves because again.
So what happens? So my question to you is what happens when the woman says, you know, I may want to, you know, experience another man.
No. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. So you got to understand the nature of a man.
She can't have babies.
I'm sorry, huh?
If she can't have any children.
No. No, we're very territorial.
Women are too. What make y'all think we're not?
No. Yes, true. That's true. Let me say this though. And I'm talking about a woman. I'm not talking about like the old guys say, a skeezer. No, but let me say this on a serious note. If a woman, and I'm talking about a woman, if a woman lays down with a man, she have to have feelings for this.
Not these whores, no.
No. I say a woman.
Okay, a woman. Not a skeezer.
I specified on that. A woman.
You're right. You're right.
I ain't talking about these. You know, I ain't talking about these Tatianas out here right now. I ain't talking about
for the most part. A woman gonna
have feelings. So that means she submitted herself to another guy. When she lay down and she busted open, she have submitted herself to another guy. Now, with that being said, eventually, because she is an emotional creature, she's gonna if she like him too, it gonna show. It's gonna give in. The damn shit gonna cave in.
Men are obviously emotional too because you just like pretty much saying they can't handle that. Like emotionally, they can't handle it. The thing is, no. The thing is, no. I'm gonna tell you what men can't handle. We're not good at lying. So that's when our stuff starts. Y'all not good at what?
Lying.
Oh, sir, I know you did not. Just turn your microphone off.
No, we're not good at
tuning in to Brown Spade. The show is over.
No. But I mean, but what I'm saying is that I just think if it was more transparent, I think he can handle it better. Because it's not being transparent, he can lose himself in the midst of it because of the sneaking around.
Yeah, I don't believe in sneaking around. Just be honest and let people make their choice one way or the other. Like, just don't take people's choice away. Yeah. Man or woman. Like, as for me, I've never had the desire to be with two men.
Yeah. Hold on. You froze up. Hold on. You froze up. Start over. You froze up.
Okay. So I said
you never had desire
to be with multiple men. I just haven't. That's just not. That's just not what I would want to do. But you know, and I don't understand why men.
That would be what you call a sausage party. But go ahead.
Ugh. I don't understand why men would want multiple women because women are a lot to deal with.
I agree. And listen, let me tell you something. So I agree. You froze up on me again. You froze up on me again. There you go. Are you there?
You froze. I'm here.
Okay, no, I agree with you because initially, like, you know, me and you talked before, and like I was telling you, you know, initially I was going to Africa and I was considering, you know, getting me 2 wives. I even told my wife that before I met my wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wound up in. Well, that's why I'm here in the DR, because I would have been in Africa. My destination was going to Africa.
Right.
You know, but I've been there. I visited there twice, and I was just studying the layout. I was preparing. You know, and like you say, some of the stuff you just can't deal with. So, and I realized that as I, got a little older, I'm like, damn, would I would have been able to
2
handle
of
two?
them? Right.
So, but again, that's me being honest with myself, because when
And a
I
lot of
was
people can't do
younger,
that. They
I'm
don't know how
like,
to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, it sounds good, but man, that shit is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And that's why when women say multiple men, I'm like, I don't have
But again, it goes back to what you said. It's not based on sex. It's about the commitment. It's
exactly.
not even about love. It's about the commitment. It's about building the
It's about
legacy. So,
commitment, the emotional
yeah,
support,
the
the
emotional
spiritual
support, the
support.
spiritual support, and the
Like it's
financial
so many
support.
things that you have to do. And like when you're trying to do that for so many people, like
Right,
for real.
right. Because I'm like, now it's like, I like a little time. As I got older, I like this little time to myself. You know what I'm saying? You done froze up on me. Come on, Key. Where you at? Where you at, Key? Key. Come on. Where you at? She done froze up on me. There you go.
Are you back? You rotating, you were
Oh, it's me? Oh, okay. I thought it was. Now you go. Now you done froze up again. Okay, say something.
say something.
You good. Okay, but your face froze. Okay, now you coming back. You catching up. You catching up.
I was
Okay.
like, what?
You were saying something. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying you were rotating on my screen, but it's just, most people aren't even capable of dealing with one partner.
Facts.
Nevertheless, multiple partners.
Right.
I think I
I'm
don't
here.
know what's going on. Oh, you there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I was actually looking at my phone. I heard my phone go off. I was just checking it. But no, I agree with you. But as I got older, I like my little time and my little space. I like being in my little office right here and just doing what the hell I want to do.
Me too.
And
I'm
like,
not putting any pressure on anybody to be up under me
yeah,
all the time. Like I'm totally okay with not doing that.
yeah. So
But for
but
me, I've been married most of my adult life. Like I've been married or in a long relationship since I was 22.
right.
So only 2 years of that was I not with the person that I was married to.
Right. Okay.
So I don't have the whole being single a long time issue. I don't have that issue.
Fair enough. I can say the same for myself. I think I've been single since in my adulthood, maybe 2 years. That's it. But anyway,
2 years for me.
Yeah. In closing, so that just like that, we're just magnets we're just magnet. We're not going to be single for long. So that's a good thing. But in closing, okay, so we done passed the hour.
Yes.
Let's give some words of wisdom, something we can share as we always do.
Just be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself. You can't be honest with anyone else. Just be honest about your expectations, about your wants, your desires. Just be honest, and the right person you could find somebody that'll go along with it, and just be open. But have boundaries. You can have your boundaries and still be open. It's okay.
Yeah. I will say relationships are not a fairy tale. Marriage, definitely not a fairy tale. It's work. It's constant work every day. It's like the stock market. You're gonna have your ups and your downs, and if you're gonna have something, then it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? If it's anything is too easy, it's not gonna last. I promise you that. Well, on that note, we're out.
Exactly. And they take a half at the end.
That's right. So, Keith, thank you again for coming on the show. We will be back, and you will be back. Come on, where you at? Okay, did you hear me?
Thanks for having me.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
That was good.